Gates fly, they're racing in the Dubai World Cup. Then Monterosso, Master of Hounds, Planter, followed by Zazu. Rosso's broken clear in the cup, 100 metres left to go. Monterosso driven out, is clear of Capone, Planter, and so you think. Mikhail does it again because Monterosso's won the cup. Monterosso has beaten Capone, Planter, and so you think.
The Godolphin blew to the fore in last year's Dubai World Cup. The famous colours carried to victory by Monterosso, who will again represent the team tomorrow night. And
Mikhail Barcelona will again be in the saddle, but is not going to be the horse that will carry Joe the most of market support. There's a couple of other horses and one Godolphin horse in particular that will start shorter.
Yeah, that's Hunter's Light, and we'll have a look at his recent performance shortly. So Hunter's Light and Monterosso representing Godolphin in this wonderful race tomorrow night for a share of US $10 million in prize money. The Dubai World Cup run over 2,000 metres. Here are the representatives: Treasure Beach, Red Caddo, Dullahan, Hunter's Light as we've mentioned, Capone, Side Glance, Planter, Royal Delta, an interesting runner, Meandra, Monterosso, African Story, Animal Kingdom from the United States, and Cassiano.
It's great to see the Kentucky Derby winner there, isn't it? You know, you've got a top class animal like Animal Kingdom that's managed to make a way into the field. Just adds a little bit of extra spice to the race, I think.
The Animal Kingdom, a horse that's very well credentialed, but as we see often, these horses from the United States, from Europe, they've got to try and beat the United Arab Emirates trained and based horses, and that's no easy task. You touched on Monterosso and we saw what he did last year. Well, Hunter's Light has been putting it together the last couple of starts in the Al Maktoum Challenge Series, rounds 2, and here is round 3. It's hard to take anything away from him here.
Very impressive performance, and Monterosso on face value is very disappointing.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing. Again, he'll be cherry ripe again for the race, I think, but Hunter's Light did win this race very impressively, and it's hard to see anything in this race, I think, turn it around on him.
Although one thing we did see last year is Monterosso be able to take a big leap from Al Maktoum into the Dubai World Cup. It was a massive leap in performance.
And that's what I'm hoping will be the case tomorrow night. So Monterosso and Hunter's Light, the Godolphin representatives. What about African Story as well?
Yeah, a horse that won over 1,600 metres. Paul, you have a reservation as to whether he's going to be able to make up or run as strongly over 2,000?
Yeah, I think he's an out-and-out miler, this horse, and you know they're going that extra step to go 2,000 metres, and I just think last couple of hundred metres he could be just found wanting. So I've left him out for that reason. I know he wins this race pretty impressively, but just wonder over the 2,000 metres.
His breeding doesn't say that he's going to get much beyond a mile, but I'm not going to give up on him, and I think at around 10 to 1 in overseas markets he represents an okay price because we know he runs the Tapita very well.
He does,
I think he's a little bit unexposed, just a little bit unexposed.
Okay. So the Kentucky Derby winner, Animal Kingdom, will line up in the Dubai World Cup tomorrow night. And there's been a lot of positive talk about this horse since he's arrived in Dubai, hasn't there? He's been flying at the track.
Oh, totally. You have a look, he's an absolute amazing specimen of a horse. He looks like he's travelled over very, very well, and he looks the real deal.
And his trainer Graham Motion is particularly happy with how he's going in the lead up to the Cup.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've really had a good run with this horse. You know, since we started training him last June for the Breeders' Cup, we haven't really had an interruption, which has been plain sailing, which has been unusual with this horse's history. You know, he's been an unlucky horse. He's had a couple of injuries which have been plenty talked about, and you know, really when you look back at his past performances, he's been somewhat of an unlucky horse in his races. You can make a case for him in all his races for being a little unlucky.
And coming over here, the shipping over here, and just sort of getting has it all gone relatively smoothly?
I mean, one of the reasons that we didn't mind doing it with Animal Kingdom is he is such a cool customer. I mean, he really handles the shipping, and the way Sheikh Mohammed gets us over here, you know, it's a direct flight. The horses really seem to handle it well, and it's gone, knock on wood, very smoothly.
Obviously, we had Dale in earlier talking about the American Challenge looks strong. How do you assess it and against the others in the field?
I hope we're strong because we're getting they're getting very sceptical back in the States about us coming over here. So, you know, I really hope we can put up a good show. I think, you know, I do think we've got some very legitimate contenders. Dale's horses, you know, I think everyone in America was a little critical of their prep races, but they were prep races. You know, I think he was very smart to bring the horses over here, and they're both very good horses. I think Royal Delta's, you know, she could be one of the best fillies we've seen in a long time, and I think she was very unlucky in the race last year. So, you know, it's a solid contingent, and hopefully we put up a good show.
So encouraging words there from Graham Motion.
Yeah, he seems very happy, doesn't he? His horse has come over well. He looks really good. Looks really good.
Okay.
The horses from the United States seem well represented with Doulahan and also the mare in the race, Royal Delta.
Yeah.
How do you assess sort of Royal Delta? She's in great form coming over to Dubai. Well, she's been in great form in the States, rather. This is her run in the Breeders' Cup.
Oh, it's a great run in the Breeders' Cup here, and she was in the race last year and absolutely upside down, and it was well documented in the press. The jockey's been replaced. She's been there, done that before. I've got her on top. I think she's going to take all sorts of beating in this race.
I think trainer Bill Mott was really ruined what happened last year. He won the very first Dubai World Cup when it was run at Nad El Sheba in 1996, a horse called Cigar. So, no,
not a bad horse either.
A horse called Cigar. She was more than that, wasn't he?
He was.
Indeed. And maybe this mare can do what Cigar did and win that race.
Yeah, okay.
It hasn't won what Cigar's won.
No.
And Red Caddo.
Yeah,
Bless him, he's there tomorrow night in the World Cup. He's been campaigning all over the world. He was in Melbourne again for the spring for a Melbourne Cup campaign. He was in Japan after that, where he ran 8th in the Japan Cup, and then came here and was victorious during International Week. He shouldn't be underestimated, should he?
He's 25 to 1. I've actually thrown him in. I thought at 25 to 1 it was a good price. The connections have said that he's travelled very well. His track work's fine. They couldn't be more happier with him. You know, he's got more stamps in his passport than Jason, but he's doing really well. You know, and he's been there, done that. And I think
it's electronic chip these days, Paul. You don't need to get stamped.
So, see, I don't travel like you see. But yeah, exactly. So no, look, he is the outsider of the whole meeting for me. If you had a long shot, there's one I'd put in 25 to 1.
Gerald myself was actually a little bit excited going over there to ride Red Caddo. Obviously, a horse that he had success with in December, but a horse at a price for you, Paul?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think so. Yeah, I think Gerald will ride him well. You know, he knows the horse, and as you say, won here. So no, it's all good.
Treasure Beach, Mike DeCock.
No, that's an interesting one because he ran 6th in that race, and if you have a look at that, it was fresh up run. There's plenty left in Treasure Beach, so he's 20 to 1 overseas. He's one that sort of excites me a little bit as well as a bit of a roughie. So if there's an upset result like last year, you know, they're the ones that could be in there.
Did you see him pep up when I mentioned Treasure Beach?
Trying to keep that one off the radar. All right, well, these are our selections for the Dubai World Cup tomorrow night. I am expecting Monterosso to bounce after that last start defeat behind the stablemate Hunter's Light. Animal Kingdom, no denying his chances, and Red Caddo, as always, will be very competitive at this level.
Yeah, I agree, Joe. I'd put him in for second. Royal Delta on top, Red Caddo, Animal Kingdom, and Treasure Beach is for the first 4 players.
Hunter's Light, African Story, Royal Delta. Hunter's Light is the favourite, but yeah, there are plenty of races on World Cup night, Joe, where shopping for the right price is going to be key. It's a really intriguing night of racing.
Yeah, can't wait for it.
Yeah.
And don't you miss it. Our broadcast starts at 10 p.m. on the ATV World Channel. And Paul, you'll be joining me for the simulcast, so get plenty of rest between now and then, because it will be a long night. We'll be up very late.
No, thanks, Joe. Look forward to it.
Okay, thanks, Jason.
Cheers, Joe.
And we look forward to your company on Racing 360 next time. Enjoy Dubai World Cup night. Bye for now.